The woman only saw a small flower on the ground, but it scared her so much that she quickly picked it and buried it in the dirt. There was a terrible legend in the village. The color red was forbidden. If anything red appeared, a monster would come and kill the villagers. No one was allowed to leave the village, or they would bring more death. The villagers had followed this rule for many years, but one day, a man refused to believe the tale. He walked out of the village and picked a red flower from the forest. Because of that action, strange things began that night. While a villager stood watch, he heard a strange noise. When he lifted the wooden board to look, he saw a flash of red. It was the monster. He quickly rang the bell. Hearing the alarm, the villagers rushed into the cellar to hide, but one blind woman was still outside. She refused to shut the door because her boyfriend had not come home yet. The monster came closer. Just in time, her boyfriend appeared and pulled her into the cellar. Everyone prayed for safety. The next morning, red paint was sprayed on every door in the village. It was clear that the danger was not over. To stop the monster, the villagers held a feast. They wore yellow robes and threw pork on the altar to ask for forgiveness. But that night, strange things happened again. With a loud scream, the villagers discovered all their livestock had been skinned. They ran into their homes and locked their doors. Only the blind woman stepped outside. Her boyfriend was waiting for her at the door. He stayed there to protect her and said they would hold a wedding in a few days. But not far away, a pair of eyes watched them in the dark. The next morning, the village fool knocked on the boyfriend's door. Before he could say anything, he pulled out a knife and stabbed the boyfriend. The man fell to the ground at once. By the time the others arrived, the fool's hands were covered in blood. When the blind woman heard what happened, she ran to her boyfriend's house. But when she got there, he was barely breathing. There was no medicine in the village. To save him, she begged her father, the village chief, to let her leave and buy medicine. The chief agreed, but told her the truth. There was no monster. It was all his plan to keep the villagers safe. He even sent 2 bodyguards with her. They thought she would return soon. But as soon as they left the village, a heavy rain began to fall. They had to set up a tent to wait out the storm. Suddenly, they heard a monster's roar. The guards were so scared that they ran away, leaving the blind woman alone. She had no choice but to go on by herself. The mountain path was full of mud, and since she could not see, she quickly slipped and fell into a tree hole. Luckily, she grabbed a branch in time. As she moved forward, the monster's growl echoed behind her.